Welcome to Petty Details, where the crew gallivants down a tree-lined lane of conversation on all kinds of different subjects. Join the crew as they jump in the Wayback Machine in the quest for nuggets of knowledge. Our journey will allegedly drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello, crew!
Hello.
Welcome back to another
Hello.
Petty Details.
Woohoo.
So,
Let's
obviously,
go.
gotta say hi to our co-hosts here, Monica and Cam.
What's up?
Hello.
And today I am wearing my hold please not villain Todd shirt. I love this shirt.
Not
It's one of my
villain.
favorite.
I know. It's awesome.
He's not a villain.
Not
Because
a
it's
villain.
Never
not
was,
villain
never
Todd.
will be.
That's
Mm-mm.
right. We heart Todd.
We do heart Todd.
Cam,
We heart Todd.
I do believe you have a band shirt on today.
I'm rocking the ice fog.
Ice Fog!
Let's go.
Woohoo.
I try this every time. The
1925.
tour dates are on the back. And yeah,
Nothing.
you definitely didn't see anything. So,
There
Nope,
it is.
there it
Okay,
is.
okay.
and my back hurts now. So that'll be great.
Welcome to the club.
I was going to say,
Well worth
the
it.
joys of getting older. Yay.
Yeah. And Monica,
Yay.
you have
Yes.
some nice headgear there.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Oh,
petty-
headgear's great.
Petty headgear, yeah. Petty details
Petty
hat.
headgear.
That's right.
Petty headgear, yes.
Petty headgear. So we are working on some kind of documentation or video showing what merchandise we have. So that
Okay.
should be coming out
Mm.
soon, hopefully. But in the meantime, if you want anything, let us know. You can email us, you can text us, you can send a pigeon.
Yep.
You
Smoke
can
signals
send one
are
of those
also
cool
accepted.
St. Bernard dogs with the barrel.
The barrel,
Please
yes.
do that.
Yes. You won't get the dog
Perfect.
back, but you'll get your merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't use your personal dog.
No.
Any one of us would keep the dog. Just
Yes.
saying.
Absolutely.
So today
Mm.
we are going to take the Wayback Machine.
We need sound effects. Where's our guy with the sound effects?
Gary's working on it. I
Okay.
talked to him about
Yeah.
it this week, and I was like, dude, people are calling you out, man.
Right. We
So.
need the sound effects.
That's right.
We need a soundboard immediately.
Exactly. So he is working on it. Another thing. But we are going to talk about some old school things that you have probably never heard of.
Fun.
Okay.
Mhm. So
Like
we are
how
gonna
old school are we talking?
Old school. Things I've never seen, and I'm the oldest one here.
Okay.
Things some of our really old listeners have never probably even seen.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact,
Really?
this is going like before my grandma was
Oh wow.
around.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah. So we're talking old school.
Yeah.
We lost Cam's video.
I
Are
was
you
just
still
trying
there
to
on
say-
audio though, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I
there's
am.
yours.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So we are going to start by going back to the 1920s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a thing called the Auto Wash Bowl. And it was this really interesting car wash. Have you heard of it?
The auto
I have
wash
not.
bowl. No.
All right. So it was designed to clean the dirty undercarriage of cars because 90%
Oh.
of roads were dirt at this time.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's patented by this guy, C.P. Boland, in 1921, and eventually had 2 locations in St. Paul, Minnesota. So the way this thing worked was it was a bowl of ridged concrete about 80 feet wide by 16 inches deep at the center.
Okay.
It
Oh,
cost
wow.
25 cents per car, which is about $4 today.
Oh.
So still not bad for a car wash because
Yeah, no.
I'm paying like $15. And a car wash attendant would strap a cover over the radiator, and then the car would go down this ramp into the auto wash basin and drive around about 10 miles per hour. And the ridges would vibrate the car and the water that was in the basin
Well-
to slosh away the mud from the wheels and the undercarriage.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really good concept even
Yeah.
for the time, yeah.
So it was pretty popular. It would end up having about 75 cars an hour at its peak
Whoa.
times. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But the popularity declined when the car wash technology evolved, and both locations were gone by the 1930s.
Wow. Did it
Dang. That's
I
quick.
would also imagine that it was affected by the fact that more roads were getting paved.
Probably, yeah. Although that
Yeah,
wasn't,
probably.
I mean, I don't think that was really a
I
factor.
guess
I think it was just like the technology started.
changed. Okay.
Mhm.
Makes sense. I
Yeah.
was gonna say I guess it would also depend on where you're at as far as the roads getting paved, because the more
Yeah.
rural stuff did not get paved until much later.
Mhm. Yeah. Although I think
Yeah.
St. Paul, Minnesota probably was pretty high on that list to get paved
I
first.
would imagine it was, yeah, pretty big.
I mean, not first, but pretty close.
No, but it was a bigger city, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
Right.
it's still kind of a cool idea.
No, it is. I mean, like I said, it was a great
Mhm.
concept.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to head on over in the Wayback Machine to the UK.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh,
And we're going
what's
way
the
back.
British like sound effect?
I don't
I
know.
can't even think of how to do it either.
I'm like, I'm trying to
The
think of what
I don't know.
the
the
TARDIS.
TARDIS sounds like.
I mean, I know what it sounds like, but I
I
can't
don't know.
imitate it.
Alexa, what does the TARDIS sound like?
Oh,
From Wikipedia.org. The Molin's description of the TARDIS sound is a wheezing, groaning sound is a reference to its frequent description in target novelizations. By the way, you have a new notification. You want to hear it?
No. No, thank you, Alexa. Goodbye. She
She
went
was like,
crazy
"Oh, by the
earlier,
way."
just so you know.
Oh,
Tell
She
me
was
about it.
singing
It was
some
like
song, and I don't know what it was, and
it
it was
was
freaking
scary.
me.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a
It was
wheezing
very
sound.
serial
So
killer.
that's not what it sounds like at all.
Yeah.
All right,
It's like
so
beep, beep, beep.
the thing that we are going to be talking about is the Aldgate pump. Have you heard of
Okay.
this?
Okay.
The old
No.
Ald,
Ald.
Aldgate, Aldgate.
Aldgate. No.
So this is a water pump that
Interesting.
was used as a public water source before indoor plumbing.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So basically, people would take their containers and fill them up at this pump for their houses or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of like the ones where you like go up and down and it like
Yeah.
the water comes out the front. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
So there were several of these pumps all around, but this is one that is still standing, which is cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it sits where Aldgate High Street, Fenchurch Street, and Leadenhall Street meet in London.
Cool.
And it has basically been at the same site since at least the 13th century, where it started off as a well.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like old
Oh,
school,
okay.
old school.
Yeah.
And we know this because it is mentioned during the reign of King John, who reigned from 1199 to 1216.
Wow.
Mhm.
Huh.
So this thing kind of looks like a smaller stone obelisk sort of thing, but it's got these cool metal wolf's head decorations on it
Okay.
that's said to symbolize the last wolf shot in London.
Huh.
Oh.
Seems
Yeah.
kind of random to immortalize that there.
Yeah. I know.
Right.
Like on a water pump. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But it was a
Yeah.
big deal back in
All
the
right.
day.
Yeah.
But it's considered the symbolic starting point to the East End of London.
Okay.
And historically, it's also like the water cooler where people are gathering, they're talking, they're getting their news. So it makes a little bit more sense with the wolf's heads, I think.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Draws people's attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Social
Now.
settings.
Yeah.
There was an issue,
Hmm.
slight
Uh-oh.
problem,
A light problem.
with the water getting contaminated from nearby graveyards in the 19th
Ew.
century.
Oh no.
Gross.
Not the
Yeah.
graveyard.
Right.
Uh-huh. So
Dead
this
people juice.
dead people juice.
Ew.
Yeah. So this led to an epidemic, although nobody is sure exactly what sickness it was, but it was something like cholera or typhoid. Like it was not good.
I was gonna say
Oh.
it could have been anything
Yeah.
in the 19th century.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very, very bad, I'm sure.
The cause was the pump was fed from an underground stream that passed through the graveyards, obviously picking up some yucky stuff.
Yeah.
But
Seepage.
it's I can't even say this with a straight face. I can't, and it's a real thing. It was said that the calcium from the bones gave the water an agreeable taste.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Agreeable,
Mm-mm.
huh?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Nope. I feel like
They're
that
like, I
would
guess we could look past
the
it
rotting
being
corpse
dead
taste.
people.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it tastes
Tastes
good
like
as you're
milk.
getting cholera. Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah,
fine.
right. I was gonna say, I feel like that agreeable taste does not negate
Ugh,
anything else, really. No,
Mm-mm.
just
no.
none of the other bad thing.
Mm-mm.
Does balance it out.
Yuck. So
That's
in,
crazy.
in 1876, the pump was moved to the west and connected to the New River Company's water main, which fixed the issue and made the water safe. So it was like
Oh, good.
when they got city water.
People can
Yeah.
use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got city water.
But the use of the pump was discontinued in the beginning of the 1900s. That's when you start getting indoor plumbing.
Oh,
So you don't
yeah.
have to walk down to the dead people juice
You don't
pump.
gotta, yeah. You don't gotta tote your pail down there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, you gotta keep your ancestors with you somehow. So
Right. True. What better way to keep them close?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
All
Then
right.
flowing through your body.
Ew.
Ugh. As Christine would say,
Crazy.
water hands, water
Yeah,
hands.
exactly. Just,
Water hands over the water.
uh-huh.
Ugh. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about. I love this
Oh,
part so
gosh.
much. I can't even tell you.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be great. Okay. So we're going to talk about Zeppelins,
Yes.
but not Led Zeppelin, although I
Okay.
could
Oh, okay.
ramble on about good times and bad times. But I mean,
Nice.
how many
Oh
more
my God.
times can I be dazed and confused with a communication breakdown
Quotes is
before the
killing.
level breaks or the levee
Oh.
breaks?
Oh my God.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, those are song titles, by the way.
Honestly, I understood because she kept going,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh,
Those are all some Led Zeppelin song titles. Good times.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We needed that. I
I spent a
definitely
lot of
did
time
need
on that.
I
This is the stuff
That was
that
good.
keeps me going.
And I appreciate
this is why
it,
I do this
honestly.
podcast, so I can do stupid shit like that.
I love it. No,
It's
that was
needed.
like legitimate. That was awesome.
What are
That
your
was
hobbies?
art. That was art.
Stringing together song titles.
Into a
Into a
sentence.
continuous sentence.
All right. So anyway, Zeppelins were rigid airships that were invented by a German named Ferdinand von Zeppelin.
Yeah,
I'd
one
say
more
that in a
thing named
German
after.
I didn't know it
accent,
was
but I
part of his
can't.
name.
Yeah. And he started drawing up ideas for these things in 1874.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he had
wow.
patented the design by 1895.
Okay.
But the first flight was on July 2nd, 1900. And these things were made of a structure of a metal framework, which
Mhm.
usually made of duralumin. How do you say that?
I'd have to see it. I don't know how to say it.
Well, that's what we're going with.
Okay.
But it's
Duralumin?
basically a combination of aluminum and some other metals in there.
Okay.
That's why it's Dura.
Yeah.
I'm
Alloys are
full of
usually
It's an aluminum
bad
alloy.
jokes today.
I
Yeah.
bet.
And then there are these cells inside the framework that held hydrogen gas. Then it has engines, propellers, and rudders to make it maneuverable.
Not at all dangerous.
No.
Right.
But these things actually went for a long time before we had a big issue. So the first commercial flight was in 1910 in Germany,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's considered the first airline in revenue service.
Okay.
Mhm. And by
Okay.
1914, this was big time. Like the commercial flights were carrying about 10,000 passengers on more than 1,500 flights.
Oh, dang. Okay, so see, I didn't realize that
Wow.
Zeppelins were like in use that long
Oh, yeah.
without
Yes.
incident, really. Like,
Mm-hmm.
huh,
They're like big time.
Yeah. And
fascinating.
then World War One hits, and they are used for reconnaissance and bombing.
Yeah.
'Cause yes, nothing says stealth like a Zeppelin.
Hey, they were
No,
pretty
literally.
quiet.
Oh, they were
I
quiet.
mean,
Is that a,
considering the
is it a
planes at that
bird?
time.
Is it a plane?
Is it a
Right.
No, it's a
Zeppelin?
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Blimp. What is that thing
And
up
then
there?
after
blimp.
World War One, the famous Hindenburg and her sister ship were built.
Mhm.
So the first transatlantic flight was in the 1930s, but the
They pass over water with that stuff?
yeah,
Wow.
I
Okay.
did.
yeah,
Okay.
I thought
these
it
were
was just like
legit. These were
to
legit.
carry
Yeah.
over. That's crazy. I didn't know they went that far.
Mm-hmm. But the 1937 Hindenburg disaster that Monica was talking about that saw the
Right.
Zeppelin burn to the ground in front of the TV cameras and killed 36 people on the ship and one worker on the ground. Of the 97 people on board, basically killed the Zeppelin. And
Yep.
honestly, it was probably because it was on TV.
More than likely, yeah, had it
Because this
not
was,
been
yeah,
televised,
because this was the first time people like
Mm.
saw
a
something like
disaster
that,
like that.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, the humanity. Like it was
Right.
bad.
Right.
Right.
But tragedy kind of happened all the time and people were kind of mad about it until they could see it, you know?
Right. Well, and I was gonna say if the
Yeah.
media exposure had been different,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the story probably would have gotten out, but it probably would not have been sensationalized or
Yes,
at least not to the degree that it ended up being.
exactly. So, but
Mhm.
these things, yeah, they were cool for a good 20 something years before that
Yeah.
happened.
And I mean, they really are
Wow.
cool modes of transportation. Those
Yeah,
things are
and these were
huge. Yeah.
huge. Yeah. But we have something similar that's still flying around, which is the Goodyear blimp. Now, the blimp
Oh
is
yeah.
way smaller
Yes.
and it is non-rigid, and this means that the blimp maintains its shape from the pressure of the gas inside the cells.
Yep.
Now, the Goodyear blimp has operated blimps since 1925, which I did not know.
Oh wow. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that had been
Wow.
around that long either.
Yeah.
That's
Although
crazy.
in 2014, they were transitioned to semi-rigid ship designs.
Hmm.
And petty
Oh,
detail,
okay.
the Goodyear blimps are filled with helium since 1925, but they too were initially filled with hydrogen.
Huh.
But they
Wow.
switched early,
Yeah.
early. And I
Before the
couldn't
hint.
find
That's smart.
anything really about why they switched,
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't seem to be
Mhm.
like it was some big explosion or anything like that.
There was no like tragedy that
Right.
Mm-mm.
triggered the change.
Mm.
Huh.
So I don't know
Interesting.
if it could have been just that it was cheaper, it could have been it was easier to
That's
find,
yeah,
it could have been anything.
Possibly.
entirely possible.
It could have been that they knew it was dangerous and they were like, "Oh, this is better," but don't
Right.
know.
Possible, yeah.
So now let's talk about something that you probably do know about, but may not know exactly how extensive these things were back in the day. We are going to talk about pneumatic tube systems.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay.
So these are basically capsule pipelines like the ones used for the bank drive-throughs.
Yep.
And they've been around for a
Mhm.
while,
Yeah.
and they were way more widespread back in the day.
For like so many different uses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So these things
Mhm.
work basically by using compressed air or a vacuum to push a cylinder through a tube. And they were initially used to transport documents like telegrams within buildings, but they can also be used to transport short distances outside of buildings.
It's kind of like the at the banks how they have like the tube and they go.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Meg, when we build the
Nice.
estate, we're gonna build pneumatic tubes between the houses so that we
We
can shoot
totally are.
messages back and
Yeah,
forth.
we absolutely are.
That's sick. It's the cup and strings, but of y'all's
Yes.
manner.
Yeah,
It's just-
exactly. Yeah. And by the late 19th and early 20th century, they were mostly used in department stores and office buildings. These things go way back.
Interesting.
So they were invented by a Scot named William Murdoch in 1799.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about way
job.
back.
Right.
Good job, Scots.
But they really weren't put into practical use until the 1850s by a guy named Josiah Latimer Clark.
Josiah. It's a heck of a name.
Hosea? I think it's Josiah.
Mm.
It's probably Josiah.
But the first operational system was used in London in 1853 at the telegraph office. Mhm.
Very
Nice.
cool.
And obviously, the decline came with the adoption of more electronic means of communication, but obviously, they are still in use at banks.
Mhm.
But I did not know this. They are actually still in use at hospitals for transporting blood samples and medications.
Are they really?
Nice.
Huh. I was just gonna ask if
Um,
there's any other industry that uses them besides banks,
Yeah.
but you just answered my question. So yeah.
Well, at my work, we have a machine that runs on pneumatics. So it's like a system of air tubes that
Mm-hmm.
basically moves all of the parts of the machine, and you just hook up an air hose to it.
Oh, that's cool.
And you use a press brake to activate or deactivate the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Same concept.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch
Yep.
of pneumatic systems in construction too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pneumatics is pretty cool.
So there you have
Yep.
it. There's some cool stuff.
And that's a
that wasn't
silent
around
P at the
anymore.
front for everyone's information. Petty detail.
That's right.
Yeah,
Petty
there you go.
detail. Right. So stay petty and relevant,
Yes.
my friends.
Stay pneumatic.
Indeed.
Stay
Stay
pneumatic.
pneumatic. I like it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.